Hi everyone, I am your reporter for today, Rika Joy D. Caporal. First of all, I am sorry for the unnecessary noise. I am going to discuss the first story in the Module 6 Greek Mythology, which is Prometheus and Pandora. Before we go on to the story, let's have our pre-activity, which is the crosswords puzzle. Direction. Find and list down the 5 words which have a connection to our topic today. Due to the current situation we have right now, the pre-activity should be submitted through private message. You can compile it together with the application and evaluation that will be later on discussed as we go on.
The story of Prometheus and Pandora. For a long time, certainly throughout the happy golden age, only men were upon the earth. There were no women. Zeus created this later in his anger at Prometheus for caring so much for men. Prometheus had not only stolen fire from men, he had also arranged that they should get the best part of any animal sacrificed, and the gods the worst. He cut up a great ox and wrapped the good eatable parts in the hide, disguising them further by piling entrails on top. Beside this heap, he put another of all the bones, dressed up with cunning and covered with shining fat, and bade Zeus choose between them. Zeus took up the white fat and was angry when he saw the bones craftily tricked out. But he made his choice, and he had to abide by it. Thereafter, only fat and bones were borne to the gods upon their altars. Men kept the good meat for themselves, but the Father of men and of gods was not one to put up with this sort of treatment. He swore to be revenged on mankind first and then on mankind's friend. He made a great evil for men, a sweet and lovely thing to look upon, in the likeness of a shy maiden, and all the gods gave her gifts, silver raiment and a broidered veil, a wonder to behold, and bright garlands of blooming flowers and a crown of gold. Great beauty shone out from it.
Because of what they gave her, they called her Pandora, which means the gift of all. When this beautiful disaster had been made, Zeus brought her out, and wonder took hold of gods when they beheld her. From her, the first woman, comes the race of women, who are an evil to men with a nature to do evil. Another story about Pandora is that the source of all misfortune was not her wicked nature, but only her curiosity. The gods presented her with a box, into which each had put something harmful, and forbade her ever to open it.
They sent her to Epimetheus, who took her gladly, although Prometheus had warned him never to accept anything from Zeus. He took her, and afterward, when that dangerous thing, a woman, was his, he understood how good his brother's advice had been. For Pandora, like all women, was possessed of a lively curiosity. She had to know what was in the box. One day she lifted the lid, and out flew plagues innumerable, sorrow and mischief for mankind. In terror, Pandora clapped the lid down, but too late. One good thing, however, was there: hope. It was the only good the casket had held among the many evils, and it remains to this day mankind's sole comfort in misfortune. So mortals learn that it is not possible to get the better of Zeus or ever deceive him. The wise and compassionate Prometheus, too, found that out. When Zeus had punished men by giving them women, he turned his attention to the arch-sinner himself, The new ruler of the gods owed Prometheus much for helping him conquer the other titans, but he forgot his debt. Zeus had his servants, force and violence, seize him and take him to the Caucasus, where they bound him to a high, piercing, headlong rock in adamantine chains that no one can break. And they told him, "Forever shall the intolerable present grind you down, and he who will release you is not born. Such fruit you reap for your man-loving ways. A god yourself, you did not dread God's anger, but gave to mortals honor not their due. And therefore you must guard this joyless rock. No rest, no sleep, no moment's respite. Groans shall your speech be, lamentation your only words."
The reason for inflicting this torture was not only to punish Prometheus, but also to force him to disclose a secret very important to the Lord of Olympus.
Zeus knew that fate, which brings all things to pass, had decreed that a son should someday be born to him who would dethrone him and drive the gods from their home in heaven. But only Prometheus knew who would be the mother of the son. As he lay bound upon the rock in agony, Zeus sent his messenger, Hermes, to bid him disclose the secret. Prometheus told him, "Go and persuade the sea, wave not to break. You will persuade me no more easily." Hermes warned him that if he persisted in his stubborn silence, he should suffer still more terrible things. "An eagle red with blood shall come a guest unbidden to your banquet. All day long he will tear to rags your body, feasting in fury on the blackened liver." He knew that he had served Zeus well and that he had done right to pity mortals in their helplessness. His sufferings was utterly unjust, and he would not give into brutal power no matter at what cost. He told Hermes, "There is no force which can compel my speech. So let Zeus hurl his blazing bolts, and with the white wings of the snow, with thunder and with earthquake, confound the reeling world. None all of this will bend my will." Hermes, crying out, "Why? These are ravings you may hear from madmen," left him to suffer what he must.
Generations later, we know he was released, but how and why is not told clearly anywhere. There is a strange story that the centaur Chiron, though immortal, was willing to die for him and that he was allowed to do so. When Hermes was urging Prometheus to give in to Zeus, he spoke of this, but in such a way as to make it seem an incredible sacrifice.
"Look for no ending to this agony, until God will freely suffer for you, will take on him your pain, and in your stead descend to where the sun is turned to darkness, black depths of death."
But Chiron did do this, and Zeus seems to have accepted him as a substitute. We are told too that Hercules slew the eagle and delivered Prometheus from his bonds, and that Zeus was willing to have this done. But why Zeus changed his mind and whether Prometheus revealed the secret when he was freed, we do not know. One thing, however, is certain: in whatever way the two were reconciled, it was not Prometheus who yielded. His name has stood through all the centuries, from Greek days to our own, as that of the great rebel against injustice and the authority of power. Additional informations. Pandora is the first mortal woman in Greek mythology. In some versions, The gift given by Zeus to Pandora is called Pithos or jar. Most gods thought humans as toys. Prometheus is also called forethought, and Epimetheus as afterthought. Hephaestus is the man Zeus ordered to make him a new daughter, which is Pandora. Now, we will move on to the application and evaluation of my topic. The application of my topic is a reflective essay. What two important lessons have you learned from the story and how would you relate it to your life? And lastly, the evaluation. It is a multiple choice, consists of 10 items, and choose the best answer. The application, the evaluation, and together with the pre-activity will be submitted through a private message. You can compile them together for a convenient process of submission.